I wanted to talk about the basics of running your business. I know we've talked about this a little bit before, but I wanted this to kind of be a little bit of a training for newbies as well. So I will upload this to YouTube and I'll share it into our chat too. And so for anyone that's watching this on the replay too, I'm just going to kind of go over a lot of my top tips as I was thinking to myself, like, what's the basics? Like, what would like a day in the life be like for you? And for everybody, it's gonna be a little bit different. Not everybody works full time like me, and I get that. But number one, if you are here tonight, you're here for a reason. You're here on purpose. You are not here by accident. And there was a little inkling in your heart at one moment where you clicked the promoter button and you clicked it for a reason. And don't ever stray away from that. Don't ever let that go to the wayside. And if you are new here, be proud of being here. Be proud of saying yes to something new. Be proud of doing something different. Be proud of doing something for yourself. Maybe you're a mama and you're like I was in the beginning and you just kind of like lost yourself a little bit in mom life and you've kind of like gotten a little inkling of what this business can do for your personal growth and how that translates into your life. So if you're new here, be excited and be proud for taking a chance on you. And so I wanted to just kind of go over, okay, what does it mean to run your business every day and kind of the basics. And so number one I put on here is get excited. Get excited for what you have your hands on. You loved the product at some point, right? You loved your 3 steps. You loved the way they made you feel. Write those down. That's why we talk about your 5s for your business and your 5s for your products. And what are the 5 things that make you you? But you have to get excited about it. It has to be something that just lights you up inside. For me, it was no longer feeling like I was falling asleep on my kiddos anymore. I now get to be the fun mom who's on the trampoline at 6 p.m. And that is something that I share. And it's just, I don't want to say authentic. I actually am learning to hate that word. I feel like it's thrown around a lot. But when you think authenticity, I want you to think instead of being authentic, I want you to think, what's the word? I had written it down here somewhere. Hold on. Where did it go? I lost it. See, my headache's getting the best of me. It'll come to me in a minute. For some reason, simplicity is popping into my head, but it's an S word. But anyways, you have to get excited for what you're doing. You have to get excited for the products that you're sharing with your audience and knowing that, yes, it has changed your life, but what can it do for others? And I will say that, yes, we are in sales. Let me open up the chat. Sorry, I can't see that. Authentically, basically being you. Bob, I know I haven't finished watching that yet, but he's got a lot of great tips. I need to go and try to finish that tonight if I can muster through it. But wow, you guys, I'm sorry about my headache. Your energy flows to your audience, your energy flows in your conversations that you're having with people. And if you are too scared to talk about the business, it's going to rub off on her and she's going to be too scared to even consider the business because you're too scared to talk about it. If you're too scared to show up on social media, then what's going to make her think that she can do it, right? If you're too scared to talk about the products because maybe you don't know all the ingredients, you don't have to know all the ingredients. You don't have to know every little part of the comp plan. I have no idea. Like I literally watched that comp plan video on our training on our team page and I'm like, I cannot reiterate that. Like all I can tell you is that we are spoiled here in multiple different ways. We are paid multiple different ways. And that is just something that will come with time as you start to rank advance and as you're in this business longer, you'll start to understand the different parts of the comp plan that get unlocked along the way. But your excitement for what you're doing, your excitement for finally moving forward in your life, your excitement for no longer being stuck in feeling like life's not going to get any better, and your excitement for finally taking the reins in your life, that is what is going to have somebody in your inbox. That is what is going to give her a little boost of confidence to even reach out to you in the first place. And so you have to get excited, number one. Number two, you must be protecting your mind. And I will say this till I'm blue in the face. What are you reading? Right? I would ask you, what are you reading right now? What are you listening to right now? What you are putting in your ears is just as important as what you're putting in your mouth. We work for a nutritional company on social media. So, would it make sense for us to take a nutritional product and stuff Cheetos down our throat at 10 o'clock at night? No, because you're not going to be getting the results. You're not going to have the great energy. You're not going to have whatever results you're looking for from this product if you're counterbalancing that, or if you're counteracting that with a crap diet, right? There's no way you're going to get out of this business what you want if you're counteracting it with a crap mindset. I'm sorry to just say it blunt like that, but if you are constantly feeling like you can't do it, or you don't believe in yourself, or you have no confidence, or nobody would want to listen to what you have to say, or maybe you don't feel like you know what to say yet, you're never going to be able to build a business. And the reason why I say that is because I kept myself out of the game for a very long time. And I will tell you, 100%, it was my mindset. It was my fear over what other people were going to think about me. It was my fear over not having it all figured out just yet. It was my fear of, what if somebody joins me in this business and they realize I'm not even a rank yet? None of that mattered. None of that mattered, right? Nobody joined me and asked me what rank I was. Nobody joined me and asked me how much my paychecks were every week. They joined me because they saw that I was a mama who was tired of being away from her family all day, and she chose to do something different. And she's using this business to be her vehicle to get her to where she wants to go. So they, in return, they see that on my feed, they see that on my stories and how I talk about that. And it makes them think a little bit how they can use this business in their life to help them with their pains. And so you have to be able to paint that picture for her, but there's no way that you're going to start with this little teeny tiny hope mindset whenever you click the promoter button and be able to spit big vision, big belief into somebody else if you are not growing your mind. If you are not growing your mind every single day, reading something, listening to something, I will tell you, I can't tell you honestly when's the last time I listened to the radio in my car. My children listen to my podcasts. Okay. They listen to podcasts and they ask me to play Meet Me and Keep Me in the Moment. And they think it's Meet Me in the Moment. But they ask for uplifting songs. They ask to listen to Rise Up. They ask, all these things. And it's because I don't have time for BS anymore. I realize that my time is very strict, especially since I work full time. And so sometimes for me, my self-development is on my car ride home or on my car ride to work. And so if I can cut out 10 minutes of listening to the radio and I can put in 10 minutes of listening to a leadership podcast, then maybe that helps me up level in my leadership. And maybe that helps me up level in my belief in my business and my belief in myself to do this, right? And then it's not just one day you're going to wake up and you finally believe in yourself. It's those little teeny tiny seeds that you're planting along the way. Every single day you're showing up for your business and you're putting a little penny in the confidence bucket, and you're putting a little penny in the leadership bucket later. You're putting a little penny in your conversations bucket because you just had a brand new conversation with somebody else, right? All these pennies all these pennies are going to add up, I promise you, but you have to be growing your mind. Um, let's see. Oh, I put this one on here. I thought of it and I was like, this is good. I put, you know how I say like your mindset is going to be the one thing that can make or break you in this business. It will be the one thing that keeps you when the storm is here, but it will also be the number one thing that makes you fold. And so What a blessing that you get to take control over whether you're going to fight or whether you're going to fold. You get to take control of it because you're working on that muscle every single day. You're working on your mindset every single day. And so it's nobody's fault but ours if we are consumed with doubt and we are consumed with fear and we are consumed with feeling like we are not enough. That's on us, right? That we need to be growing a little bit more so that we can keep our fear in check. These feelings are going to come. They're going to come more often than not. And we have to learn how to keep it in check so that it doesn't consume you and you don't fold. And then you're sitting back into where you came from and you've given up on yourself. Number 3, I wrote down is posting every single day. That used to be so overwhelming for me. I used to think, can you believe it? I used to think that it was really overwhelming to put up one post a day. Not talking live video. That was a whole nother ball game for me. But to put up one post every single day, that used to cripple me sometimes. And I used to just go to Pinterest and I would try to find a cute quote. And I literally would post the graphic from Pinterest. And that would be my post for the day. Okay. And what I will tell you is I've completely revamped the way that I do my posting. I never share anything to my newsfeed that I do not create. So if I see something on Pinterest that I love, I am putting it with a selfie where you can see my DFT if I love that quote or whatever. I am not reposting the graphic. I am not sharing a funny meme that somebody else has shared. If I want to share something like that, maybe it will go in my stories, but it absolutely will not go on my timeline because that messes up your algorithm like crazy when you're sharing other people's content. The only time I really share something, and it's very, what's the word? I don't do it a lot, is when we have our opportunity events, or if we have a leader that's doing like a dual live with somebody else and they're talking about the business. Sometimes I will share that, but by no means am I sharing those every single Thursday when we have an opportunity event. I am making sure that my timeline is my storefront. And at the end of the day, is she going to come in or is she not going to come in? If my profile picture has that banner, because there's like that Thrive banner on that you can have. What is this cat doing? Then she's going to see it and she's going to say, oh, that's that Thrive girl. She's automatically going to be turned off. She'll be like, she's going to try to sell me something. She's going to try to like lure me into her business, whatever. It's just really icky when you have that Thrive 123 banner across. Same thing with sharing content to my feed. I don't do that. I do not have a separate Facebook page for my business. You'll see that some people, I feel like this is becoming like the new cold messaging. Like they're just inviting you to their page, to their like business page that they've created. And you go into all your event notifications and you're like, oh my God, like how did this get so bogged down? Because 97 people have just added me to their event page or added me to like their business page or whatever. I will say that whenever you clicked that promoter button, you did not become a company. You stayed yourself. You just share a product that you love and you share choosing a business to be a vehicle to get you to where you want to go. You're still sharing yourself. You're still sharing your kids. You're still sharing things that are funny to you. Maybe, your kid said something really funny today. You're still sharing what breaks your heart. You're still sharing the things that light you up, right? The things that make you you and make you completely different from me. That is what you're sharing. I put in here, as you're having conversations with people, that needs to be on your list every single day. As you go through your IPAs, you'll notice that you start to have more conversations with people, genuine conversations with people. You're getting to know how many kids they have. You're getting to know where they're from. You're getting to know what's going on in their life. Maybe that conversation comes up and you've had a conversation with somebody before about the products or about the business, and maybe they've said something like that they just counted themselves out for. Maybe they said, "Oh, I wish I could do what you do, but I just don't have the time." Or they've given you some sort of excuse, but you've really gotten to know this person and you would actually genuinely call them a friend. But like, you know that they would be good at the business, but they're just not there yet. That is who I post to. And so I will take the things that they say to me about feeling like they don't have enough time, or feeling like they don't have the money to get started, or feeling like they just wouldn't know where to start, or feeling like they don't have a social media following, or feeling like they're just not as confident as me and they couldn't show up on a live video, right? Those are the fears that I speak to because I've already talked to that girl, right? And so if you're having these conversations and you're getting these objections, stop seeing them as a no, start seeing it as a I'm not ready yet, right? And you just need to speak a little bit more belief into her. And maybe you need to post towards her, right? I'm not like calling her out. I'm not tagging her in anything. There's nothing in the post where she can identify it and say, she just wrote a post about me. But when she reads it, she's like, oh, she's speaking to me, right? But little does she know, like, I literally was speaking to her. Right? So use that as you're in conversation with people. And don't sit there and think like, how can I get a customer? How can I get a promoter today? I want you to be in the mindset of, how can I give to my newsfeed today? What message does she need to hear today? Um, and instead of thinking, how can I get, flip it to, how can I attract? I'm still working for my free product credit. How can I attract 2 customers by the end of the month? What kind of post do they need to see? Do they want to know a little bit about the shakes? Do they want to know why you like them, and that they're not gritty and they're not chunky and they keep your appetite on point? Do they want to know about the jumper cables and the fact that you literally feel a difference in the first 10, 15 minutes of your day and you're ready to conquer everything? Right? If I am pushing for my free product credit for two customers, to be able to attract 2 customers before the end of the month, then I'm gearing my posts towards my products. You can still throw in business every now and then, but the majority of it would be towards my products if that's my goal. And if it's to attract a promoter to start growing my team, then I'm posting more about the business, and I'm posting it in different ways. Um, let's see. I put on here, don't overcomplicate it. Think if some think if somebody sat down next to you on an airplane and asked you what you do. Like, you know how like people will just ask you, like, they think you're on business when you're on an airplane. So they ask you what you do. You wouldn't say, "Oh, I sell 3 simple steps and it's capsules and it's shake and it's a DFT and it's wearable nutrition." That's a robot response. That's not how you would talk to somebody. So when you're having conversations with people and somebody asks you, "What do you do?" Can you just be her friend? Right? I don't answer their question right away. I call them by name and I'll say, like, let's just use Katie, for example. I'll say, "Katie, first of all, I need to know, like, how long have you been watching me? And what was it that sparked your curiosity? I will be more than happy to answer any questions that you have, but like, tell me what got you in my inbox, right? What was it that brought you here? Because I want to be able to help point you in the right direction." And then she'll open up to you a little bit and she'll start saying things like, "Oh my gosh, I've been watching you for 6 months," or something that's going to completely blow your mind. She'll say, "I've been watching you and I love your energy," or she'll say, "I've been watching you and I want to be able to bring in extra income for my family," or "I've been watching you and I don't like my job either and I want to create something totally different." Um, so ask her questions, right? Ask her, what was it that brought her here? What is it that you can help her with? Ask her, um, You can tell her a little bit about what you do, right? You can say, I work for a nutritional company on social media. Let me know what other questions you have, right? Keep her going with the questions. That way you're not word vomiting all over her. And she feels heard at the end of the day because you're answering every single question. Let's see. I put the reason why you're doing this is the reason why someone else needs to do this. Be sincere. That's the word. Instead of authentic, think sincere. Sincere about my story is the fact that I was burnt out of nursing in year one. Sincere about my story is the fact that we have over $81,000 in debt we're trying to pay off. Sincere about my story is the fact that we moved down to be closer to Sean's fire department, but we downsized our home over half the size. We went from a 2,800 square foot house to a 1,200 square foot house. And we are cramped, and we have a baby horse, and we have 2 children, but I have $81,000 in debt I'm trying to pay off, right? And so I share these things on my social media. I share that we've downsized our house. I share that I am in debt and I am actually working towards paying that off. I share that I am not fulfilled in the work that I do. And that's where people connect with you, because they can tell those vibes of if you're just coming on to share about your business versus if it's just something that's always on your heart because you know where you're going and you know where you came from and you know that you're not going back there. And so, yes, I share about my business and I share about my products every single day, but it's also become a very large, important part of my life. And I love what I do. And there's something to be said about that. And so I never apologize for posting every day. I never apologize for going on my stories every day. I never apologize for the content that I put out. I never apologize for putting on a DFT every single day. The people who get it will come to you, and the people who don't won't. And it's okay if they don't get it. Like Katie says, not everybody has a brain cell for network marketing. And you just have to respect that. You just have to respect that if somebody doesn't believe in it or they don't get it, then it's either not their time or it's just not for them, right? Because I would much rather have somebody that I can speak some belief into than somebody who was super skeptic, who bought a promoter pack with me and dipped out 2 days later. I would much rather have somebody who bought that same promoter pack, super scared, super nervous, who I could teach how to believe in herself a little bit. And she blossomed into this incredible network marketer who could paint a vision for where she's going and could learn how to share a story and learn how to own a room and learn how to stand confident and learn how to just have fun being herself for a moment, right? I feel like a lot of our lives we spend trying to make other people happy. But when you're doing self-development and you're learning that you're enough just as you are, different or not, you're enough just as you are, and you have everything that you need. God has already given you everything that you need to be equipped with for this business. But you have to put in the work. You have to learn how to believe in yourself. You have to learn how to be confident. You have to learn how to be consistent, and you have to learn how to be faithful with the business opportunity that was presented in front of you. And with that, I will say my next bullet point is trainings and organization. And I've learned how to put boundaries in my business over time, and how I think I've probably missed one Wednesday night Zoom, the entire almost 3 years that I've been here, because I make it a priority. I made that commitment to myself. And so when you have somebody that joins you on your team, or maybe you find yourself in a moment where you just can't make it happen and you just take the easy route and you just keep fumbling at the goal line. There was a girl in one of our other chats that said she was asking on tips on how to get unstuck just a minute ago. And at the very end of her comment, she said, I've been lazy with the business. I have no comment to that. Somebody else will reply to her, I'm sure. But you can't be upset for the results that you don't have if you're admitting that you're being lazy with the business. And that was me a long time ago, when I was 100% being lazy with this business and I didn't take it seriously, even though I was showing up on trainings and I was listening to all the things and I was doing some self-development, but I wasn't applying anything that I was really learning, and I wasn't treating this like a business. But yet when it didn't pay me like a business and when it didn't pay me anything some weeks, I sat in anger. I sat in anger wondering if it even worked. I sat in anger wondering, how come I don't have a paycheck this week, right? I thought we got paid every Tuesday. How come I don't have a paycheck, right? And I sat in my ego for a very long time. And I have no idea how I sat there for so long and didn't fold. It was like I was put in that season for a reason. And I was learning through it, even though I didn't see it yet. I didn't see that I was actually growing in that season. I didn't see that my anger, that my not clapping for the other girl, that my resentment kind of towards everybody else that was achieving great things in this business, I didn't see that as a growing season. But I see it now. I see it now that I have seen momentum and I have seen growth and I have changed lives. And it just takes one. It just takes one life, and you realize that you changing one life helps her change another life. And you realize the big picture, and you realize that your storm was there for a reason. And you didn't get those paychecks for a reason. And you didn't sign a promoter for a reason. And you didn't sign a customer for a reason. But you showed your grit and you showed your perseverance so that you can then go teach another girl. What held you back, right? And so you have to get very serious with trainings. You have to get very serious with organization, with writing things down in your planner. Those Sunday training Zooms are incredible. Because at the end of the day, I can't motivate you to run your business. Nobody can motivate you to run your business. I can inspire you. I can inspire you by running my business. When I sign a customer, it inspires you that it can be done, right? When I show up on my stories and I share what's really hard for me that day, I inspire you that it can be done, right? And so I want you to think, when you're showing up for your business every single day and you're posting and you're on your stories and you're growing your mind, you're showing someone that it can be done. And you will have those paychecks and you will have those rank advancements and you will have that team that you're growing in time. A question I get a lot is, what do you say to cold messages when somebody cold messages you? And I always try to give them grace. And I didn't come from a company, before this. So I've never personally had to send out these cold messages, but I usually just say something. And honestly, this depends on what mood I'm in. This is why it's important to do self-development in the morning, because if I read a cold message first thing in the morning, my day's done gone to shit. Okay? If I have not prepared my mind for it and then I show up, right? And I'm not the person that I wanted to be on that message, right? But how I respond typically is I'll say something like, I respect your hustle. I'll actually go look at her page first. I'll go look at her page unless it's blatantly like what company she's with. I'll go look at her page and I'll kind of like try to learn a little bit about her. Like, does she have kids? What state does she live in? What can I learn about her real quick? And then I'll say, I respect your hustle 100%. I'll say, I'm in network marketing too. I've been with my company for X amount of time. And I'll just kind of start it that way. I'll say, I've been with my company for X amount of time. This is absolutely home for me because we don't send messages like this. And I get to run my business just by being me. Right? And some people, I will ask questions a little bit further. And I'll say, how long have you been with your company? Or how long have you been with, and I'll name their company. I'll say, what is it that you like about your company? And every now and then you'll get somebody who's just really hurting. And you'll get somebody who doesn't know any different. And you'll get somebody who just needed a friend. And you'll get somebody who says, thank you for being so kind. Because not everybody is kind to them. And not everybody knows any different. And so always have grace with her a little bit. If you look at a cold message and you just like, it puts you in a bad mood, don't respond. Just leave her on red until you're in a good headspace and then respond to her with grace. As far as when people say no to your product or to your business, you have to learn that some people just aren't ready in that moment, which is fine. And the no's are what's growing you, right? But you have to learn how to shelf your emotions in the process of that conversation, right? And so when someone comes to me and they ask me about the products and I tell them about the products and then they're like, okay, I'll think about it. Then I'll say, well, let me know what other questions you have, right? And them just saying like blatantly no, like, I don't think this is for me or whatever. I don't get hurt. I don't. I'm just like, okay. Right? Think of it like if you're at a restaurant. If you're at a restaurant and the waitress comes up to you and asks, did you guys leave any room for dessert? And you say no. Is she offended? No, she's not offended. She just wants you to get up so she can clean the table and somebody else can sit down, right? So we can't get offended when people say no. We have to just take it as, depending on how the conversation goes. If it's somebody who's like, I just don't know, I write them down as potentials. If it's somebody who's like, yeah, I can't do that, right? Okay, get up. I'm gonna clean your table. Sit somebody else there, right? So I'm sorry, but you have to have that mindset. You can't get butthurt and think that you can't think that like you did something wrong in the conversation or you're bad at talking to people or you don't know enough about the products or you just like let the conversation flop. It's not that. Closing as far as the conversation, whenever I have anybody come into my inbox, and unless they're responding to a story that I put up about samples, then I'll sell them a sample. But otherwise, when people come in my inbox and they're asking me something about the product, my mindset is they're already my customer, right? There is no ifs, ands, or buts. My mind is not even thinking about selling them a sample. My mind is set on they're going to order with me today. And so I asked them their questions. I asked them questions. I'm like, what is it? What results are you looking for? Are you looking for energy? Are you looking for weight loss? Let me know. This is not all texted out. I voice memo this. so that I'm normal, so that I fumble on my words a little bit. So my kids are screaming in the background and she can tell that I'm literally just a normal human being. And I say, I want to be able to help point you in the right direction. Are you looking for energy? Are you looking for weight loss? Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know how long you've been following me. And if you know anything about Thrive so far. Then she'll tell you a little bit. And then depending on what they say, if they're like, I'm looking for energy, then I'll go back to how I felt before I took the products and I will relate to her. And I will say, I remember when I had no energy and I didn't want to go to the gym and I was falling asleep on my kiddos. And when I started using the products, it was like someone came and flipped a light switch on, and you are going to feel so much better. This would be my best recommendation since you're looking for energy, right? I would say I would get you the women's capsules. You get, as a new customer, you get 2 boxes of shakes. One of them is free, but you get to pick your flavors, and then you get to pick a DFT. You can go with our regular one, or if you want to upgrade to the black labels, those are my favorite for energy because there's B12, which helps with fatigue. And there's also 5-HTP, which helps with stress levels and helps with mood support. And I'll say, does that work for you? Or does that sound like something that you would want to try? And she'll say, yes. Can you tell me the prices? And I'll legit, like, I don't get stuck on pricing anymore. I tell her the prices, right? I'm confident in the price. And so I say, okay, so for all 3 steps, it would be $150. You're going to get the capsules, you're going to get 2 boxes of shakes, and you're going to get your DFT. If you want to upgrade to the black label, it's $14 more. And she'll say, okay, I want to do da, 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 right? I didn't hesitate on my pricing. I used to hesitate and say, well, so it's $150, but we do have a referral process. You can refer people, you can earn your products for free every single month. And then she doesn't even want to buy from me because she just wants to know how you get it for free. Right? Because I just like bulldozed her in the whole conversation. Didn't even listen to her. I didn't even give her the chance to tell me what her price range is. If she comes back to me and she's like, oh, it's a little bit more than I wanted to spend, I'll say, let me know what price range you're wanting to keep it at. And I will still give you my best recommendations to fit in your price range. Right. And so then maybe we bump it down a little bit. Maybe she's only getting the capsules and the black labels, and I'll give her that price. Right. And I'll calculate it out on my little calculator here. And I'll say, here's the capsules, here's the DFT. And so I say, well, if you want to bump it down a little bit, you can do your capsules and the black labels, and it'll come back to be 124. If she's like, it's still a little bit much, I'll say, well, you're welcome to get just the capsules. If I had to pick one item that I couldn't go without, it probably would be the vitamins. If that doesn't work for her, then I go to my sample, right? And so I don't take no for an answer when I'm going in that conversation in my mind, is what I mean. In my mind, I've already decided she's going to be my customer. And I will tell you, about 90% of the time, they become your customer in any way that you can work with them and their budget, because you had the confidence in the pricing and you had the confidence in the conversation. Target didn't go out of business because Walmart's cheaper. People still go to Target. They go to Target and they get the popcorn and they get the coffee, right? While they're shopping. So you have to be confident in your pricing. Let's see, where were we? We're almost at the end. Growing your network every single day, it's a must. You want new eyes on you. It's a must, because at some point, especially if you're new, at some point, your warm market is only going to get you so far. Your friends, your family, your coworkers, the people that actually know you off of social media, those are only going to get you so far. And then what do you have after that? You have to start growing your network. You have to start building it every single day. If it's just a couple, you're still adding to your network. Every single day, non-negotiable for me. And then the VIP period, I just wanted to kind of speak on that real quick, that my biggest tip for the VIP period would be don't be embarrassed, because I was 100% embarrassed of doing this when I started. And I didn't have bold conversations. I asked nobody to help me. I went into my VIP period understanding that it was something I could never accomplish. And that was my mindset behind it. I didn't think I could do it. I did not want to get uncomfortable and talk to anybody about it. I thought that people were just going to come to me. Do you see how ego driven I was in the beginning of this business, where I thought that people were just going to flock to me because I started a business? And I thought that everybody at work was going to see a sticker on my arm and buy from me. And I thought that every stranger out in public just automatically knew what I did and they were just going to come to me. And if I hit my VIP period, it was because it was meant to be. And I put zero effort. I put zero effort into it. And guess what I got out of it? Zero. And then we had a moment about 6 months later after I joined. We had what's called a re-VIP. I've only seen Lavelle do it one time, and it was then, which means that you could come in and hit your VIPs again. No matter if you had hit them before or you had never hit them before, it was from this date to this date, anybody had a chance to go hit their VIPs again. I still didn't think I could do it. I even signed up Sean as a promoter at that point, and I had a VIP period on his account. Didn't believe I could do it. Didn't want to get uncomfortable and talk to anybody about the products or the business. So I still didn't hit it. Doesn't mean that you're not going to be successful in this business, but it's all the energy that you're bringing into it, right? It's the energy that you're bringing into the fight. It's the energy that you're bringing into the ring. You're either already defeated or you're a fighter, right? And when you can decide to have the mentality of I can't be shaken, right? Like come at me, right? Come at me and tell me that what you think about my products. Come at me and tell me what you think about the business. Okay. Right? When you can have that mentality and nobody can shake you, it's a really beautiful thing. It's a really beautiful thing because you up level in your life a little bit, and you start to have momentum in your business, and you start to see other people change their lives a little bit. And you realize that you're here for something a little bit more. And you realize that everything that you've been through from beginning to now has just been building the foundation of your business, whether it be good or whether it be bad. Whether it be I fumbled, I failed in that conversation, or I signed a customer, right? Or I gained confidence a little bit by doing a live video, or I let somebody bulldoze me and my emotions, right? You learn how to stand up for yourself a little bit taller when you're in this business a little bit. And you learn how to be confident, and you learn how to be unapologetically you. And I wasn't that for a really long time. And it's really freeing when you can let go of what other people think about you, when you can let go of everything that's holding you down that you don't even realize is holding you down, because you just feel stuck. You just feel stuck. You feel like nothing's moving. You feel like you don't know which direction to go. You're not stuck. You're just weighed down by a bunch of stuff that's not necessary, like fears and doubt and opinions of other people. And you do have everything that it takes. Okay. I love you guys. I'm going to hop off.